very sad day here in Terrebonne Parish. And of course, joining me now, the pastor, Pastor Chad and Dakota. And Pastor, words can't describe what we're seeing, what we're feeling today, but I see a lot of warmth and a lot of glow in the fact that Austin was certainly loved by his fellow police officers, his fellow church community, and the love in there is vibrant.
Yes, sir. He was very much loved. I'll say it today during the ceremony, but life isn't measured by length. It's measured by depth. And he made an incredible impact in people's lives, even at a young age. Mm-hmm. I've known him since he was 12 years old, and he's always wanted to be a police officer, and very few people can go out saying that they've lived their dream, and he did. And we're just so very honored and proud of him.
I know the dad well. I can't say I know the whole family well, but the dad, so funny, so comical, so full of life. Was Austin like that?
Absolutely like that, and you'll see pictures of him, and the picture even that the family picked to show to be remembered is actually a kind of an inside joke of him wanting to be the next president, and he was always play acting and always laughing. We always had fun with him. He was always the life of the party, but not a show-off. He had an incredible air about him and always made people feel loved, and he always rooted for the underdog.
What do you think he would say today? I'm seeing the lines come in. I'm seeing the reverence towards him. I'm seeing the loyalty amongst his fellow officers that are here today. What do you think he would say about all this?
I think he would be incredibly proud. He was proud to be a part of the police force. Again, I said it's all he ever wanted to do, and he represented the best of us. And I think our society's gotten to a place where we honor those that maybe look down on that. And I think that it's awesome to have a young man that esteemed to those virtues and values of wanting to bring out the best in people. And he did that. And I think he would be incredibly proud of the love and support for his family, because he would have been a part of that for any officer as well.
Pastor, thank you for your time. And I know it'll be a tough day, but like I said, if we're looking for any of the positive today is how much Austin was loved by this community.
Yes, sir, and I think what makes this day so much better is that Austin was such a person of faith, and he's the reason his family is in church. And I talked to the cadet class, and he invited every one of them to go deeper in their faith, and I think that's a powerful statement for a 21-year-old man to have that kind of impact on people. And I think we're stronger today because of his faith and the faith that he instilled in each of us. So thank you.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you for being here and honoring him.
Very sad day in Terrebonne Parish as we're saying goodbye to Officer Austin Bush, badge number 438. I'm going to move out of the shot right now. You can see the loyalty amongst fellow officers, and it's just been an outpouring all day long of people coming in to pay respect right around the corner there. And with permission from the family, we were able to go in just for a brief moment with all respect and see the loyalty that's displayed inside the church here. The police chief just walked in a moment ago. The sheriff will be here, along with many members of his church community, many members of the police community, and certainly you could feel the emotion here today. From what I'm told by Travis Terrio, a long-standing, high-ranking member of the Houma Police Department, this is Houma Police's first loss on duty. I was not aware of that since we've been covering since 1985, but that was quite shocking to hear. So I can imagine the emotions that are taking place here at church. Of course, you heard from the pastor, Pastor Dakota, a little while ago. I'm sure it'd be a very emotional day, but just to see the outpouring of love and the kind words that everyone had for Austin Bush is really enlightening here in Terrebonne Parish. All right, obviously, no need to introduce the parish president, but we will anyway. You've seen him a lot in Gordy, a sad day in Terrebonne Parish. Someone under your administration, of course, the Houma Police Department under your jurisdiction. A young man so loved by the community. You can tell it by the amount of people coming in today and by the show of respect for Austin Bush. And just a sad day, but I guess the shining star is the young man's personality.
Yeah, Martin, you know, my heart, my prayers, my family's heart and prayers, and the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government hearts and prayers go out to Austin and his family. And, you know, what a horrible, horrible event, that tragedy that took the young man's life. And I mean, there's no words that can speak to about what happened. I mean, it's just you know, an accident that happened right on Percy Brown Road, and a whole family's devastated, and God bless them, and there's no other words to say, but my heart goes out to his family, and God bless him and everyone, all his loved ones, and the parish will never forget him. He was a part of this police department, and will remain a part of the police department in our hearts.
And, you know, I know you would be one to know what to tell the family, because naturally you went through it with your son, and they're in there grieving, and they're trying to be very positive. But, you know, what would you tell them just to maybe give them some hope for the future? Because there is tomorrow. It takes time, of course, as we know, but there is the sun will come up tomorrow.
Well, you know, Martin, I lost Bubba Dove in 2009. His name was Gordon Dove Jr., and I mean, it's a long, long road to recovery. I still haven't recovered from his death, and my family hasn't. And we go to this guy. I go, and my family goes to his grave 2-3 times a week, and he's buried with my mother and father. And so there's nothing. It's terrible when someone dies and they up in age. But when a young person dies like that, I know what it is, because I've lost the love of my life, my son, and they've got a long recovery, and they need each other now more than ever.
Mm-hmm. And I know you're going to pay your respects in there, but isn't it just very humbling to see all units from Sheriff's Department, Houma Police Department, fire departments, and when they say family, they mean family.
Well, you know, Mark, we got the best responder group between the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office, Police Department, DA's Office, Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, the fire departments. The more unity than people can even imagine how well they work together, and they have a fallen officer, and they're here to pay their respects, and so am I, and Steve Ponville's over here, and all we can do is give them our prayers.
Thank you, Mr. Parish President. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Martin.
Chief, obviously a tough day. I saw you standing guard at the casket, and from what I understand, this is the first ever for the Houma Police Department. I could be wrong with that, but just today to see one of your own, just give me your thoughts today.
It hurts. It hurts. Precious life. So young, innocent, pure. He lived out his dream. His dream was to be a police officer. He fulfilled that dream. A couple days before his accident, I had a conversation with him, and we talked about leadership. We talked about an array of things, and I told him just because you have a title don't necessarily make you a great leader. He worked at the Civic Center during the storm, and that was a massive operation along with the National Guard and several members of consolidated government, along with our personnel. And I explained to him, I said, here it is, I'm the police chief. I come to you, who is familiar with this operation, and you have to take me around this operation to educate me on how the process is going. And I told him, I said, that's a part of leadership. I said, you embraced your task. You learned the ins and outs about the task that you had at hand, and you cherished it, and you did it to the fullest of your capabilities. Honorable young man, and the men and women of our agency, as well as this community and his family, let's not forget them. It's gonna miss him tremendously.
When you talk about loyalty, and you see all of you all here today, and you see people coming in and paying their respects, the loyalty of a police force is unbelievable, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We're a family. We spend more time with each other than we probably do with our own families. We get to learn a lot about each other. And in the short period of time that we knew Austin, from April of this year, we learned a lot about Austin. Austin was a precious gift to our department, a precious gift to this community, and I can't say it enough. All he wanted to do was protect and serve, and I mean, we're gonna miss him tremendously. We will.
And in a situation where police work is normally very serious, it was good that he had a comical sense of humor that he could probably lighten up a room pretty good, couldn't he?
Yes, he can lighten up a room pretty good. And talking to his family, he enjoyed drama. He dressed up in many costumes. He played Santa Claus for Christmas. He loved theater. There was a time that we was gonna see even more of Austin's sense of humor, but I just can't say enough that this one hurts. This one, I know we talk about a lot of stuff that hurt, but this one hurt. This one really does hurt.
Yeah. Let me bring in Captain Luska. Your thoughts? You met the young man. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you, just in backing up and looking to where we're at today, my dad did 20 years with PD. I'm on 30, and it's not something you ever want to be part of your career, but it did happen. And just meeting and getting to know the family, Mr. Bill, Miss Nikki, and their daughter Alyssa, the strength and the faith of that family helps us pull through this, because they are so strong. It's amazing and it's beautiful. And he was a wonderful little guy. I enjoyed him so much. I got to visit with him a lot, like the chief just said, when we're working over at the Civic Center, when you go around checking, bringing out meals and stuff like that. The guy always had a smile on his face, very polite, always respectful. Even though his career was young, his light, the way he displayed himself, is an example to all. It really is, and in just such a short time. But that's also how I understood that he expressed like his faith. You would see it in him, and he would emulate what a good person would want to be.
If I could bring up Travis for a few words, and I'll get Bobby after, but you spend so many years with the police department, and it probably makes you a little rough around the edge. The things y'all see as a police unit, isn't it good to have that young spirit to sort of remind you where you need to hit that reset button sometimes?
Absolutely. You know, Austin was a great person. I got to spend a lot of time with him because I was assigned to the Civic Center in the beginning. And even before then, you know, and he cared. You know, he wholeheartedly cared and just wanted, his goal whenever we first met, he told me, was to just change one person. If he could change one person throughout his career, that his career would be successful, you know. And if you look at his short career and you look at the amount of people he impacted in a short period of time that he was with our agency, it shows you how good of a person he was. He has changed people. I think he's changed everyone in our department a little bit just in the short period of time he was with us, because he's gonna stay with us forever.
And his pastor told me he brought people to church. He made them, yeah, so that was good. Bobby, come on up. And you've seen a lot of young officers come through. Your words, what was he like?
Very inspirational, even with the short time. His little light that he had when coming to the department really lit up and put the fire under all of us. In the brief time that I've met with him at the Civic Center and interacted with him, I know he came to church here, and that I came over here because of the homeless shelter. His parents were telling me that he was inspired by what we did and how he felt that he can make a difference in the community, just like I have made a difference in the community, and he was the future of our agency. So his light will live on and inspire all of us to move forward and be grateful for what we have.
Chief, let's close with you if we could. Y'all in the middle of a COVID crisis and you're in the middle of a devastating hurricane, and this. I'm sure a lot of grieving amongst the police officers as well.
Yes, we have a lot of grieving amongst our police officers. We still, like you said, in the midst of COVID, we're dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Ida, where several of our employees have been impacted. Several have, nowhere to go. Some of them are bunked with families, staying with families and friends. And now we're dealing with this. But I can just tell you one thing, not only about our department, but about our community. Our community is resilient. We've bounced back from several things. I believe we'll bounce back. I know it for a fact. We'll bounce back from the aftermath of Ida, and through God's grace and his covering of all of us, and to include the Bush family, together we'll get through this tragedy as well. So one thing I want to say is we should always remember forever 438. His badge number was 438, and we should always remember 438.
Gonna make it move. We're gonna make it move. It's gonna be here. And we're gonna make it in. We're gonna make it in a great crowd.
Hello? Is anyone up there? Aren't you supposed to throw down some hair or something? No? Okay then.